Let me ask you about 2020.
Okay.
Who do you think your Democratic opponent will be? Joe Biden says he'll make a decision by January.
Well,
Tough opponent?
I dream about Biden. That's a dream. Look, Joe Biden ran 3 times. He never got more than 1%. And President Obama took him out of the garbage heap, and everybody was shocked.
I think the one thing the president doesn't want to do from the very beginning is face me, because I will beat him. Period. Period. He has done everything in his power. He's even risked his presidency because he doesn't want to face me.
Do you
It's
expect?
simple.
Yeah.
Have you ever, a rhetorical question, have you ever seen a sitting president get so involved in a Democratic primary and focus so much attention on not wanting a single person, me, to become the nominee? The president does not want me to be the nominee.
Now, Sleepy Joe would say the unemployment rate in the great state of Ohio. No, you're in South Carolina. Joe, you're in South. They come up and you ever see the guy that no, it's South Carolina. It's not Ohio. Okay. Then he goes, all right, Iowa. Did you say Iowa? No. I did that like 7 times. If I did that once, it would be the end of the road, right? Be the end of the road. They'd say Trump has lost it. They like to say that anyway.
Count it out. Left behind. This is your campaign. I don't think people are looking for revolution. I think they're looking for results. Donald Trump has put us in a horrible situation. We do have enormous income inequality. And the one thing I agree on is we can make massive cuts in the $1.6 trillion in tax loopholes out there, and I would be going about eliminating...
People are bad people. No, Sleepy Joe. Well, he's running tomorrow. No, but could you imagine if I said just a small fraction of the mistakes he makes, which are unbelievable, every speech? I actually said the other night, I was watching him when he said about half the population wiped out with guns. I said, that's a horrible thing. That's the end of his evening. That's the end of his political career. And then after the debate, they're reviewing him. They said, Joe Biden had a great night last night. I don't get it, Tim.
Thinks Wall Street built America. Ordinary middle-class Americans build America. As president, I promise you, I will get these weapons of war off the street again. There's no threat to the Second Amendment by telling people there are certain weapons they cannot own.
And your father was never considered smart. He was never considered a good senator. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
Big enough, bold enough to build a future that this nation and, quite frankly, the world deserves. Making sure affordable health care is accessible to every single American. Lowering drug prices, ending surprise billings, protecting our rural hospitals that are closing. We should do it by building on Obamacare, not scrapping it.
It's true. It's true. And they're always saying the same thing. Yeah, he got $1.5 billion. We admit it. They admit it. There's nothing. But always that same thing. President Trump made a totally unsubstantiated claim about Hunter Biden and his father. It's not unsubstantiated, you crooked son of a guns. It's 100% true.
In the United States, I would remind the world that we are the United States of America and we do not coddle dictators. The United States of America gives hate no safe harbor. Donald Trump's brand of American First has too often led to America alone. The fates of nations are more intertwined than they ever have been. Climate change, nuclear proliferation, international and transnational terrorism, cyber warfare, disruptive new technologies, mass migration. None of them can be resolved by the United States alone or any.
So China gives his son $1.5 billion. How would you like to have Joe Biden take over negotiations right now with China? I don't think so. I don't think so. Meanwhile, Biden allowed China to rip off America for 8 years as vice president, and Barack Obama let him just rob us blind, and we're not doing that anymore. Those days are over. The Bidens got rich, and that is substantiated, while America got robbed. That's what happened.
In fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come. I would change the order that the president just changed, saying women who were being beaten and abused could no longer claim that as a reason.
Never by himself could never do anything. President Obama took him, made him vice president, and he was fine. But you go back and look at how he succeeded in running when he ran 2 or 3 times. I don't think he ever broke one. He was at the 1 or less level, 1% or less level.
And you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years.
Receive fair treatment from law enforcement. They have to receive it. We all saw what happened last week. We can't let that happen. Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day in terms of equality.
I'd like to take a moment to address something that the president said this morning. Toward the end of his remarks, President Trump said he hopes that, quote, George Floyd is looking down and seeing this is a great day for our country. We're speaking of a man who was brutally killed by an act of needless violence and by a larger tide of injustice that has metastasized on this president's watch as he's moved to split us based on race and religion and ethnicity. George Floyd's last words, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe," have echoed all across this nation and, quite frankly, around the world. For the president to try to put any other words in the mouths of George Floyd, I frankly think is despicable.
We have to make a decision. Theme for the next campaign. So we've been here by that time, 3.5 years. We're going into the war with some socialists. And it looks like the only non-sort of heavy socialist, he's being taken care of pretty well by the socialists. They got to him. Our former vice president, I was going to call him, I don't know him well, I was going to say, welcome to the world, Joe. You having a good time, Joe? Are you having a good time?
Donald Trump has corrupted the soul of this country. Donald Trump has pummeled the middle class. Donald Trump has embraced dictators and poked his thumb in the eye of our allies. Donald Trump is a disaster, and he knows it, and he knows I'm going to be able to point it out. And I can hardly wait to debate it.
Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up. Chuck, good to see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much. I tell you what, stand up for Chuck.
This is a country where we speak English, not Spanish. English. I like it better in Spanish. That's beautiful. I like it too.
We love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And we also love Puerto Rico. They basically had a silencio attitude, silence.
They were silent. Silencio.
When we have the laws changed, it'll be like perfecto.
We want to make it perfecto.